You watch wealthy people multiply their money while you're stuck counting pennies, wondering what secret they know that you don't. Here's something nobody wants to admit. Money doesn't care about hard work or fairness. Money follows a different set of rules, the kind Machiavelli understood long before modern society ever pretended the game was fair. Rules that most people never learn because they're too busy believing the system will reward them for playing nice. The truth is simple but painful. You remain poor because you still think effort equals reward. You believe if you just work a little harder, save a little more, eventually you'll break through. But the rich? They stopped believing that fairy tale years ago. They don't grind harder. They engineer their position so that money flows toward them automatically, like water running downhill. And if you don't understand the cold, tactical thinking behind their moves, you'll spend your entire life feeding someone else's fortune. What you're about to discover isn't some feel-good advice about budgets or side hustles. This is forbidden strategy, the kind that separates wolves from sheep in the money game. Master these principles, and you'll never think like an ordinary person again. The game isn't rigged, you just don't know the real rules yet. Most folks believe wealth comes from being smart, lucky, or talented. All lies. If that were accurate, brilliant people wouldn't die broke and exhausted workers wouldn't drown in bills. Wealth isn't about raw skill. It's about cold calculation, strategic thinking that bends reality in your favor. Money strikes deeper than anything else in human life. It determines your options, your status, your survival. Those who control cash control everything around them. And the first lesson you must absorb is this: money is never neutral. It's a tool. In weak hands, it evaporates. In strong hands, it reproduces endlessly. This tool belongs only to people willing to abandon childish fantasies about how the world should work. That starts by shattering your old identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start observing reality clearly. Because here's the secret. Most humans are blind. They're predictable, emotional, easy to read. They can't see how they're being used in the wealth game. But once you learn to watch instead of react, everything changes. You begin seeing how fortunes are actually built. Look at the average worker. He grinds daily, saves small amounts, follows every rule. Yet his life remains a cage, his labor enriching someone positioned above him. Why? Because he believes in effort without understanding leverage. He believes in fairness when power is what matters. He believes appearances mean truth. That blindness keeps him trapped forever. And here's your first weapon: master the power of silence. Most people chase wealth by talking constantly, proving themselves, showing desperation like a neon sign. But silence creates tension. Silence forces others to reveal themselves first. In any negotiation, deal, or opportunity, whoever stays quiet longest gains control. Why? Because humans despise silence. They rush to fill empty air, often spilling secrets, weaknesses, or concessions. The wealthy understand this instinctively. That's why they remain calm when everyone else scrambles. They don't chase deals. They let others bleed information, then strike with precision. Silence transforms you from prey into hunter. But silence alone won't protect you, because even if you stay quiet, predictable reactions still make you controllable. That brings us to the next principle. See, most people broadcast their emotions like a radio signal. Fear, greed, insecurity, all visible instantly. And predators detect these signals faster than average minds can process. That's how the wealthy manipulate markets, employees, even relationships. They read reactions before you finish thinking. If you want to escape poverty, become unreadable, like smoke. Nobody can sense your next move. When you eliminate emotional signals, when you master inner stillness, You stop being a piece on someone else's board. You become the player moving pieces. Think carefully about this. A person who can't be read can't be predicted. A person who can't be predicted can't be controlled. That person becomes dangerous in the money game. They can't be trapped by marketing, peer pressure, or trends. They save when others spend, strike when others freeze, and retreat when others rush forward foolishly. This is how empires emerge. Not by following crowds, but by standing above them, observing, waiting, executing with surgical precision. But understand this clearly. Every time you act on impulse, every time emotion drives your decisions, you lose power. And every time you lose power, someone wealthier grows stronger at your expense. Because money never stops moving. If it's leaving your pocket, it's building someone else's empire. That reveals another law. Predators' timing. Average people are impulsive. They chase hot trends, gamble on hype, race toward get-rich-quick schemes, and in their rush, they become food for those who wait patiently. The wealthy don't hurry. They move deliberately, strategically, like a tiger in tall grass, conserving energy for the perfect moment. When fear grips the masses, that's when they pounce. This timing explains why they buy when everyone panics, hold when everyone sells, expand when everyone retreats. Their patience is weaponized, and if you develop this skill, you'll stop wasting money on impulses and start capturing opportunities invisible to others. But patience demands discipline, and discipline is precisely what keeps most people poor. They crave comfort, ease, instant gratification instead of the cold satisfaction of self-control, which explains why the few who master patience, silence, and unreadability rise to wealth, while the rest stay chained to paychecks forever. And here's the darkest reality of all. Most will never escape. They're too emotional, too reactive, too blind to win this game. They'll live as prey until death. But you don't have to, because if you take these laws seriously, if you detach from illusions, weaponize silence, become unreadable, and master timing, you stop being ordinary. You stop being broke. You start becoming untouchable. And the deeper we explore, the clearer it becomes. Wealth isn't earned through fairness. It's captured through strategy. You've already glimpsed the first cracks in the matrix. Silence bends conversations. Being unreadable shields your position. Patience turns desperation into calculated timing. But stopping there leaves you half-formed. Because money isn't just about defense. It's about turning others into resources for your growth. And this is where the real game begins. Most believe wealth comes from effort. They imagine rich people work harder or think smarter. That's surface-level truth only. Real wealth gets built through positioning, by standing where other people's efforts flow into you without them realizing it's happening. Consider your job. You work, grind, sweat, and your paycheck is a tiny fraction of the value you generate. The rest flows upward, silently, into your employer's account. Why? Because they're positioned above you structurally. They don't need to work harder than you. They just need you working. This is leverage in action. People's effort, loyalty, even obedience is unstable by nature. But when you control the system itself, when you create the position where their work must pass through you, their instability becomes irrelevant. You keep growing wealthier while they remain trapped. Leverage explains why one landlord gets rich, while hundreds of tenants pay rent until they die. Leverage explains why one investor multiplies money while thousands gamble and lose. Leverage explains why one corporation extracts billions from millions of customers who keep buying despite complaints. And here's the cold part. Most never think about leverage. They think about earning. They sell time. They sell labor. By doing that, they're selling their life. That's why they stay broke forever. because they trade in the only currency that never multiplies: hours. But those who master leverage stop trading hours and start trading systems. They create positions where time, money, and energy flow toward them automatically. They stop being workers and become hunters, setting traps. Still, even leverage collapses without control. Because the masses are fickle, they change minds, trends, loyalties, constantly. And if you can't anchor them, you lose your grip. That's why you must understand the law of story. Wealth doesn't flow toward the best product. It doesn't flow toward the hardest worker. It flows toward the best story every single time. Humans are irrational creatures. They follow belief more than logic. And those who shape the story control where money moves. That's why religions build empires, brands become cults, politicians command millions with words alone. They've mastered the art of narrative, of shaping the lens through which masses see reality. And here's the secret nobody admits. The story doesn't need to be true. It only needs to be believed. Once people accept your narrative, they'll give you their money, their loyalty, their labor, sometimes even their lives willingly. Average people resist this idea. They believe truth and fairness drive the world. But look around carefully. Repeated lies become reality. Carefully crafted appearances become truth accepted by millions. And the person who rejects narrative as manipulation stays broke because they don't understand that money always follows belief, never objective reality. Silence, unreadability, patience, leverage, narrative. Do you see the pattern forming yet? Every principle transforms human weakness into your advantage. Every step pulls you further from the herd and closer to the circle of predators. But here's something darker you must face directly. Machiavelli would call this the moment you stop being ruled by illusions and start studying human nature as it really is. Wealth demands sacrifice, not of blood, but of comfort, because the predator's path is lonely. You can't indulge every impulse, distraction, or craving. That's what keeps others weak forever. Their need for constant comfort. The rich aren't soft. They appear indulgent, but beneath the surface lies iron discipline. They control themselves before attempting to control others. And if you want to rise above poverty, you must learn the same. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the illusion of playing nice for the reality of control. This is why you stay broke. You cling to comfort, fairness, appearances. But the rich don't. They embrace discomfort when it serves them. They bend rules when it benefits them. They create appearances when it protects them. That flexibility is why they rise, while others sink deeper. But remember, every principle has a shadow side. Silence can become isolation. Being unreadable can turn into paranoia. Patience can rot into inaction. Leverage can collapse without discipline. Narrative can backfire if exposed publicly. This is why the wealthy appear so calm, because they've learned to walk the razor's edge perfectly. They balance ruthlessness with control, always staying one step ahead of collapse. And while you sit thinking wealth is about working harder, they're moving invisibly. They're pulling strings you don't see. They're setting traps you won't notice until it's too late. But not for you anymore. Not if you continue down this path, because you're already peeling away illusions. You're already becoming harder, colder, more strategic in your thinking. And once you fully embrace the predator's mindset, you'll realize money doesn't flow to those who deserve it. It flows to those who capture it. And the capturing is never loud or obvious. It's quiet, calculated, ghost-like. That's where you're heading. Toward the final transformation. By now, you're starting to feel the shift happening inside. The world looks different. You see people talking, begging, buying, reacting, and all you notice is weakness everywhere. They don't even realize they're being drained, harvested, played like instruments. You do now. You've stepped outside the herd mentally. But to truly cross over, you must understand more than silence, unreadability, patience, leverage, and narrative. These are foundations only. The real transformation happens when you sharpen them into weapons and wield them without hesitation. Because wealth is warfare. Not a fair game, not a moral contest. War. And in war, hesitation means death. Let's go deeper into forbidden territory. There's a reason poor people cling to jobs while rich people build empires. It's not just leverage, it's the law of replacement. The weak always replace labor for power. They think working harder means earning more. But hard work alone is fool's gold. The wealthy replace differently. They exchange ideas for labor, influence for action, perception for reality itself. Consider this clearly. One person digs a hole for a day and earns a wage. Another organizes 10 people to dig 10 holes and earns 10 times as much without touching a shovel. Who's smarter? The one sweating or the one replacing? If you're always replacing time for money, you'll always stay broke. But if you replace perception for value, ideas for labor, others' energy for your gain, money flows to you endlessly. This is the uncomfortable truth nobody teaches. The rich don't work harder than you. They make others work harder for them, systematically. But replacement isn't enough without another weapon, the law of illusion. People don't buy what something actually is. They buy what they believe it is. This explains why a diamond, essentially just a rock, commands fortunes. Why brands turn ordinary fabric into luxury status symbols. Why paper currency, worthless on its own, holds the power of nations. Money follows illusion always. And masters of illusion are the ones who grow wealthy beyond measure. They don't sell reality. They sell the story wrapped around reality. That's why some people sell courses on getting rich without ever being rich themselves and still profit enormously. That's why entire industries thrive, creating desire for things nobody truly needs. Illusion creates demand. Demand creates wealth. If you reject illusion because you think it's dishonest, you've already lost the game. Because the world doesn't reward honesty. It rewards mastery of appearances above all. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are underneath. Appearances equal power. Illusions equal currency. And the person who commands them commands wealth itself. Now listen carefully, because here lies one of the most dangerous principles, the law of extraction. Most people recoil at this word. They imagine cruelty, injustice, evil intent. But extraction in pure form simply means identifying unused value and capturing it before others do. The rich see gaps, inefficiencies, opportunities, and they extract value before anyone else notices. This doesn't always mean extracting from people directly. It means extracting from timing, from fear, from waste. It means seeing where others leave value on the table and turning that waste into your gain. Take fear as an example. When markets crash, average people panic and sell everything at huge losses. SFX, market bell. The predator extracts value from this fear by buying cheap, multiplying wealth while others bleed. Take attention as another example. Billions waste hours scrolling mindlessly on devices. The predator extracts value by capturing attention with narratives, selling products, converting distraction into income streams. Extraction isn't cruelty. It's realism about how the game works. If you don't extract, someone else will extract from you instead. That's why you stay broke. Not because others are evil, but because you lack the coldness to see opportunities in others' weakness. And yet, even extraction is dangerous without control mechanisms. Which brings us to the law of withholding. The weak believe giving everything earns trust and loyalty. They overshare. They reveal plans prematurely. They expose emotions freely, and by doing that, they surrender their leverage completely. The wealthy withhold strategically. They reveal nothing until it serves their purpose. They master partial disclosure perfectly, feeding just enough to create interest, desire, or dependence, but never enough to become predictable or vulnerable. Think about negotiation dynamics. The average person blurts out their price, their limits, their needs immediately. The predator withholds everything. He waits patiently. He listens carefully. He calculates precisely. By the time he finally speaks, the other side is already trapped in his framework. Withholding creates mystery. Mystery creates power. Power creates wealth naturally. This explains why the richest people often appear silent, mysterious, distant. They aren't hiding because they're weak. They're hiding because exposure equals vulnerability in their world. Now, let's connect all the threads together, clearly. Silence bends people to your frame. Being unreadable shields your true position. Patience turns desperation into perfect timing. Leverage makes others your resource. Narrative shapes what people believe. Replacement frees you from labor slavery. Illusion multiplies value from nothing. Extraction turns waste into wealth. Withholding protects your advantage. These aren't tips or tricks, they are weapons. Dark, cold, precise weapons forged through centuries of power games. And when you wield them skillfully, you stop being a victim of the money game entirely. You become the game itself. But here's the final shift in identity. Most people live and die as prey. Emotional, predictable, chained to hours, salaries, and illusions of fairness. But once you begin walking this path seriously, you stop being like them fundamentally. You become an observer, a strategist, a phantom in the marketplace. Picture it clearly. While others stumble blindly, you walk with X-ray vision activated. You see their emotional tells, their impulses, their weaknesses instantly. And instead of joining their chaos, you watch calmly, you wait patiently. You move only when the outcome is already decided in your favor. This is what it means to be unreadable, untouchable, unstoppable in the money game. You're not chasing wealth anymore desperately. You're positioning yourself so wealth chases you instead. And once you taste this power, you can never go back to ordinary thinking, because at that point, you're no longer one of them mentally. You've crossed into something higher, something untouchable. Now the question remains, how do you apply this daily? How do you live this philosophy, not just understand it intellectually? That's where we go next, into the operations of real life, into strategies that turn these laws into your armor, your weapons, your empire. You've absorbed the principles deeply. Silence, unreadability, patience, leverage, narrative, replacement, illusion, extraction, withholding. These are no longer abstract concepts. They're weapons in your mental arsenal. But a weapon unused is just decoration on a wall. To become untouchable, you must carry these laws into daily life covertly, like a hidden blade nobody sees coming. Because wealth isn't just built in grand moments. It's built in small daily choices, where most people fail repeatedly. That's where you separate yourself from the herd. That's where you become something different entirely. Conversations with people. Most use words to fill space, to prove themselves, to feel validated and seen. But you know better now. Words are currency, and currency must be invested wisely, not wasted carelessly. When you sit across from someone, a friend, colleague, or potential partner, practice silence deliberately. Let them speak first. Let them reveal themselves. You're not reacting anymore emotionally. You're studying them scientifically. Every hesitation, contradiction, emotional leak becomes valuable data. And over time, you'll notice people practically beg to fill the silence you create. They hand you information, influence, even loyalty, just to feel comfortable in your presence. Silence isn't absence of sound. Silence is pressure applied strategically. Negotiations of any kind. Most amateurs think negotiation is about pushing their position aggressively. They talk, argue, try to win debates. But negotiation is war disguised as polite conversation. And, in war, the calm soldier always defeats the frantic one. When you negotiate anything, your unreadability becomes armor. You don't show excitement that reveals desire. You don't show fear that reveals weakness. You don't show desperation that reveals need. You wait silently. You let the other side expose themselves completely. Then, when the moment is perfectly right, you extract value. You replace your silence for their panic. You withhold information until the deal tilts in your favor naturally. And when they realize they've given more than planned, it's already too late to reverse. Relationships and social dynamics. Money isn't just financial currency, it's social too. Influence is currency that can be traded, multiplied, weaponized for advantage. And here's the brutal truth nobody teaches. Most people destroy their influence by being too available, too emotional, too predictable in behavior. You won't make that mistake. You apply the law of withholding consciously. You don't give everyone full access to you. You remain slightly distant, slightly mysterious, intentionally. You offer glimpses of yourself carefully, never the complete picture. And because humans naturally crave what they can't fully grasp, this withholding creates perceived value automatically. People chase you instead. People invest in you emotionally. People respect you naturally. This isn't manipulation for its own sake. It's intelligent design of your social gravity. So wealth in all its forms pulls toward you magnetically. Business and enterprise. Here is where these laws truly shine brightest. Most businesses fail because they try to sell reality and features. They push logic, specifications, hard work stories. But the predators sell illusions and dreams instead. They sell narratives and identities. They craft appearances carefully. They create desire where none existed before. Think of the greatest empires in commerce: luxury brands, tech giants, lifestyle products. Are their products objectively worth the premium price? Rarely, if ever. But the illusion, the story, the narrative makes people line up eagerly, beg for access, and overpay gladly. This is the law of illusion in action, multiplied by the law of narrative. If you want to build wealth systematically, stop selling only what something is functionally. Start selling what it means emotionally and socially. Don't just sell food, sell identity transformation. Don't just sell clothes, sell status elevation. Don't just sell courses, sell the illusion of becoming someone better. Because in the end, people don't buy the physical object. They buy the story they tell themselves when they own it. Conflict and competition. The weak waste energy fighting every battle that appears. They argue constantly. They defend themselves reflexively. They prove points publicly. And by doing so, they bleed power constantly. The predator doesn't fight every battle presented. The predator waits, selects carefully, and strikes only when victory is assured beforehand. This is the law of timing applied to conflict. When conflict comes toward you, you don't rush to respond. You watch calmly. You calculate carefully. You let your enemy expose themselves, burn their energy, reveal their strategy completely. And when they are weakest and most vulnerable, you act swiftly, decisively, mercilessly. That's why the rich expand during recessions, while others panic. That's why they buy when others are paralyzed by fear. That's why they conquer territory when others retreat defensively. They don't waste energy in petty battles. They choose wars that feed empires long term, and slowly, without fanfare or announcement, you evolve internally. You begin to notice that while others chase comfort constantly, you choose discipline deliberately. While others reveal themselves carelessly, you remain unreadable strategically. While others panic at volatility, you wait patiently. While others work endlessly trading time, you create leverage. While others tell truth and get ignored, you craft illusions and get paid. You are no longer one of them mentally. You have crossed into something higher permanently. This is the final evolution stage. Unreadable, untouchable, unstoppable in the money game. A phantom moving through the world of wealth. You don't scream about your money. You don't beg for recognition or validation. You move in complete silence. You build quietly behind the scenes. You accumulate power steadily until one day the herd looks up suddenly and realizes you are no longer among them. You've transcended their level entirely. This is the path of the strategic mind, ruling not by kindness or fairness, but by control, design, and inevitability. The freedom from being ruled by impulse or emotion. I call it the predator's consciousness, the mind that bends wealth, power, and people to its will naturally. Most people will never see this clearly. They'll stay blind, emotional, prey forever. But you have been initiated now. You've stepped deeper into the hidden knowledge. Now, here is your choice moment. You can let this wash over you and return to old patterns, predictable, emotional, broke forever. Or you can take this as your initiation ceremony. You can begin applying these laws daily, starting immediately. You can stop reacting to life and start calculating your moves. You can stop working for money and start bending money to work for you. If you're ready to walk further into this world, to sharpen your mind permanently, to master power, to become untouchable in the game, then hit that like button right now. Not as a favor, not as a gesture, but as continuation of your transformation with winds of thought. Because the deeper we go together, the darker and more powerful it gets. And once you cross that line, there is no going back to ordinary thinking. So the question is simple. Are you ready to stop being prey and start becoming the predator?